Well, hello, everyone, and welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I'm a little disappointed. Nick, why do you think I'm disappointed?
Well, because we did not reach the 200-like plateau on the live show, so no push-ups for Luke Evangelist.
Yeah, we asked for it. We're like, if we get to 200, but we asked for it late, right? To be fair, we asked for it at 10:38, right? If
he deserved to be punished for his poem that he read.
I thought the poem was great, except it was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
How long
It was 3 stanzas. That was not long at all.
Buddy.
He told ChatGPT, type the longest poem known to man.
It was
No,
literally.
I said make it shorter. Trust me, the first one it gave me was like 20 stanzas long.
So you did ask ChatGPT. It wasn't you.
No, David, you're hearing things. That was all me.
Did you, what was the question you asked it to do? Write me a poem
I
about
said,
TexAgs?
write me a poem about TexAgs, radio host David Nuno, and owner Billy Liucci.
And it did all that.
And it did all that. And it was like pages long. And I said, make it shorter.
Wow. Hey, now. Anyway, let's talk about what happened on the show today. Billy Liucci called in. We chit-chatted with Billy about, transfer portal and the signing day coming up tomorrow. That was fun. Catch up with him. Jason Howell gave us more insight into National Signing Day. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk talked about Aggies in the NFL. John Pugliese in studio. And this guy gave us a poem. I don't think it made the rewind, but it was so long that, well, never mind. Just watch the rewind, shall you? Shall you? Do people say shall you?
No.
They do now.
Okay, shall you? Shall you watch the rewind?
Billy, I mentioned that keeping some of these dudes that were iffy, Shamar Stewart coming back, is a huge win for this defensive line.
That's a massive development for the Aggie defensive line and the A&M defense, and just the program in general. I mean, look, so much is made about these 5-star signees and what they're doing. And look, I'm looking at Shamar Stewart, who's now going into year 3, who was really, I actually did talk to Elijah down the stretch there before he took the Syracuse job. And one of the guys, somebody that we were with, was like kind of trying to downplay maybe Shamar Stewart. And Elijah was like, no. He said, he's doing this. And he just did his hand up like a rocket ship. He said that he's, second half of the year, he got a lot better. Like he was playing. He said, you go back and look at how many sacks he was right there close to getting, like several that he was just about to finish on. He's gotten a lot better. I think he can be a difference maker next year. Along the D-line, a veteran. Look, you're not going to get Fadil Diggs back. I think he's gone radio silent. Syracuse offered his brother. This is one of those deals. Like, take whatever you were going to pay him and spend it elsewhere. Okay? That's why Shamar Stewart's part of why he's so important, too. You need veterans up front. If you can bring back Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner, Albert Regis, but Malik Silla going into year 3 now. But you look to it, the 5 stars that everybody talks about, oh, this guy's gone, that guy's gone, that guy's gone. You look at those 5 stars, Shamar Stewart's still here. Gabe Brownlow-Dindy's still here. There's an opportunity for him. DJ Hicks is going into year 2.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like every year for the last few years, there's been a surprise. Like, maybe you guys expected, but the public did not expect. Could there be some surprises tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. There could be. It may not be Jimbo, but that when you have a transition group, when you have a new coach come in, you've got some guys they may be talking to behind the scenes that, they haven't voiced it out there. You could see a flip or two, or you could see maybe a new name, especially early on, that they were able to work behind the scenes a little bit. And you've got Elko and the Duke crew out there with some connections. I think that helped play a part in the Tampa trio making their way to campus over the weekend. And then, who knows what some of these other guys like Coach Klein have, out there or Coach Spencer that may be able to make a late play on somebody.
Let's talk about some of those guys that will possibly not sign tomorrow. You mentioned them a moment ago, but Terry Bussey, do you still feel like A&M is in the right position for him?
Yeah, I think this is one that he really wants to build those relationships. That's been a huge part of his recruitment, and he's seeing a lot of changeover. A lot of the guys, he had a great relationship with Coach Rushing. He's no longer there. They really liked what was going on with Coach Petrino, and the thoughts of being part of that offense. But yeah, so it's about repairing those bonds. I think they really like what A&M brings to the table as a university.
Well, I got a couple. Braden Mann had a really nice night last night, despite the Eagles' problems. And they started on the 8-yard line on their final drive. Seattle did, because of Braden's punt. It was down there at the 8, and it ended up with around a 50-some-odd yard average. So played really, really well. Myles Garrett, again, is getting held every single play. Didn't have the statistics, but I don't know. I reposted this week some of the holding penalties that have not been called, and he's been very outspoken. In fact, he got fined for being outspoken on some of the holding calls that haven't been called on him this year. Josh Reynolds had 2 catches for 41 yards. So those are the honorable mentions. Number 3, Mike Evans, 4 catches, 57 yards, a touchdown. Tampa Bay is playing really well. Baker Mayfield had the maximum passer rating, 158.3, on Sunday against the Packers, and they're playing pretty well. May get that Cowboys matchup in the first round. Number 2, Tyrell Dodson. I know he had the illegal hit on Dak Prescott. In fact, I was a little surprised he didn't get ejected from the game, but had a good game other than that. 8 tackles, half a sack, was all around the football all day against the Cowboys. Played awfully, awfully well. And then, as I alluded to, Justin Matabuke, what can you say about him? He's tied an NFL record. He's had at least a half a sack in 11 consecutive games. If he gets a sack this week, he will break, even a half sack, he will break the NFL record for consecutive games with a sack. He had a sack, 4 quarterback hits, a forced fumble on Sunday, and another guy is playing unbelievable now. He becomes a free agent in the offseason, and guess what? He's about to get paid. He probably will make the All-Pro team, I would think. I would imagine that he's going to be, it might be Aaron Donald and Justin Matabuke at defensive tackle this year, but he's going to get paid at the end of this year. He's just having an outstanding year.
They competed at a really high level against one of the top schedules in the country, and they're tested. Did they get over the hump with some of those games, right? They've lost 2 or 3 by 10 points. The Memphis and the Houston games, that's 10 points combined. Those aren't bad losses. Now, does it look great in the rankings when you've got 4 losses on it? No, but that's okay because we're not playing for the right now. I think the one thing we know about Buzz's teams is they're going to compete, and at the end of the year, they're going to be in it. I don't think this year is going to be any different.
I was really impressed by one thing. There's a lot that impresses me about Wade, but one of the things that impressed me was you're taking on one of the best defenses in the country, if not the best. And he had struggled, yet when he just said, let me go hoop, he went out and he hooped, man. We had been missing some of that in a few of the games this year.
Not only was it impressive because of the way that, he kind of got out of it and he just got after it, right? Especially the last 10, 12 minutes of the game. But he was doing it against arguably the top defensive coach in the country in Kelvin Sampson, with arguably the best on-ball defender in the country in Jamal Sheed. Those are realities. And so for Wade to do what he did, I said it last week on the show, he's going to prove to everybody that he's one of the top 3 point guards in the country. He did that. But a point guard in college basketball is a little bit different today than it used to be. Jamal Sheed is a throwback, right? He finishes with 12 points, 8 assists, a couple steals, and he's this calming influence. That's not Wade's game. Wade is dynamic. Wade is a volume shooter. Wade is going to go off when he goes off, and when he's not making it, he's still going to try and go off. And so I think what we saw is Wade's ability to take over a game. The problem is the guard play from A&M with Wade against Houston. You have Hefner, who only played 20 minutes, but he was 2 for 2.
Nick, tell the people what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe. I guess be on TexAgs Premium at 7 a.m. tomorrow for the National Signing Day special. And then keep it here on YouTube for the whole Signing Day show.
Why don't you let Zoe say hi? She was waving. You should have let her say hi.
That's her saying hi.
Oh, okay. Hi, Zoe. Good to see you.
She got a puppy yesterday.
Oh, that's great. All right. That's going to be I don't know how to respond. That's the rewind. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you mañana.